Hi, everybody. Glad to have you all join us today. Welcome to Cause. So glad all of you have signed up, and so glad to have you all here today. We'll just wait a few minutes in case a few more people are joining. Maybe in another 2-3 minutes we will start. All right. In the meantime, it would be great to have all of you post in the chat. Can you post your name, where you're from, which university or school you're from, and what city or country you're from? It would be great if you all can post that, and uh, and also how you're feeling in the chat. Hi, Ayan. Where are you from? Which school or university? And how are you feeling? Pranav, Ikya School. Okay, great. Glad to have you join us. Ankit Upadhyay from Vellore Institute of Technology. Awesome. Great. Even we're also very excited that you all are here. Ikya School. Okay, fantastic. CMR University. Okay. Aditya's feeling happy. That's great. Okay. Glad you're here, Aryan. And okay, so we have more people joining in. Okay, so glad all of you are here. As of today, we're very happy to announce that we have more than 200 teams registered for Cause 2023. So that's something really exciting for us. We are doing something like this for the first time, and really happy and excited to have you all here with us today. All right, great. So right now we have close to 20 of you, almost 19 of you, 19 of us, including us. Okay, so we'll start. All right. So first, let me introduce myself. My name is Vindhya, and I'm part of the design thinking team here at CMR University. And my teammates are also here. We have Vignesh and Shirley. Can you turn on your camera and tell everyone a hi? So they are also here. Vignesh and Shirley are also part of the design thinking team. Right now. Oh, there's a little. Okay, so there's a bit of an echo, so we'll leave that. They're sitting right opposite me, but there's light coming from behind them, so they look like shadows and silhouettes right now. That's okay. Anyway, so we also have another team member, Gauri, who's not here right now, and yeah, so we are the design thinking team at CMR University. I'll give you all for all those of you who are not from CMR University, I would like to give you a little bit of context about what's going on here. So we have at CMR University, of course, just like all of your other universities and colleges, we have our program courses. Our program courses are all your core courses for the subjects that you've taken on. If you've taken on engineering or if you've taken on architecture, it's all the main courses that have to do with the main subject that you've selected. And we also have something else called the Common Core Curriculum. Common Core Curriculum courses are courses that are there for students across all streams. So these are courses that we believe is something that will help students thrive in the University of Life, that will prepare them for success, and that will help them in every way. That these are common skills that students need to have across all streams. And as part of the Common Core Curriculum, one such course is design thinking, we have the design thinking process as a mandatory course for students across all streams. So we have we're conducting design thinking workshops for students in engineering, in architecture, in design, in law, psychology. So for students across all streams, we're having design thinking because we believe that problem solving is a key skill in today's world. And yeah, and because we believe this, we've decided to have a design thinking course across all streams. And the vision of CMR University is to nurture creative thinkers who will drive positive global change. And through the design thinking process course, students learn the process of going about problem solving, and they also learn how they can implement these things that they're learning to drive positive global change. And one of the reasons why we have our main themes as the sustainable development goals is so that we can help everyone orient themselves towards the bigger problems of the world that we all need to focus on. So great, I'm glad so many more students are joining us right now. And yeah, let's get started. So this is who we are at CMR, and today the floor is open for all of you to share. This space is a safe space for you to ask any question. It is, don't worry about anything being silly or anything like that. You can ask absolutely any question to do with cause 2023. We are happy to help answer it. We'll also take you through our challenge brief and clarify any questions you may have. And we'll also let you know about the submission requirements once again, and our timeline and the process and what's to come. And you can also ask us anything. That's the reason we've called this an Ask Me Anything session. All right. So let me begin by taking you all through a few things. One is our website. We've updated the timeline. So for many of you who registered earlier, you would have seen a particular timeline, and now it's slightly changed. So I'll take you through our new timelines. I'll also take you through our challenge brief and what we're required to share, and then after that I'll open it out for all of you to ask your questions. Okay. Hi. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot to unmute myself there. So as you can see, one of the latest changes that we've made is we have extended our deadline for registration. This is because we wanted more students to register. We were also reaching out to some of the other universities, and we wanted to give everyone a little bit more time to register. So we've extended our deadline by one more week. So the last day to register is 24th of Feb. So if you have friends, yes, tell me. You can even drop it in the chat. Okay. All right. And everything is already available on the website. I'm just running you through the website once again. Okay. So this is our updated timeline. As you can see, we are having our first AMA session with you all today. That's the 15th of Feb. And your registration deadline is on the 24th of Feb. And then on the 26th, I know it says 22nd, but it's actually TH. We'll have to make that correction. So 26th Feb is our next AMA, and our final submission is going to be on the 28th of February. So the earlier you start, the better. And once you've done your final submission, I'll take you through what is expected for your submission in case you've not seen it already. And once you've done your final submission, we will have a panel that will go through all of your work, and we will shortlist 60 teams who will be invited for the showcase. So we understand that many of our teams are not in Bangalore, and we will be having a virtual round for all of them on the 17th. So after that, again, in between we are having constant AMA sessions to help all our participants, and on 17th of March we'll have our final showcase, which is ground zero is what we're calling it. It's going to be a lot like Shark Tank, and that's where you can do your final pitch. That will be our that will be the top 6 will be going into ground zero. So the design thinking process, for those of you, many of you must be already familiar with this process. For those of you who aren't, these are the classic 5 steps that we've laid out here. But overall, the main things that we want you all to do is to ensure that you are looking at selecting problems or understanding what the real root cause of the problem is, and then looking to solve the problem only after deeply understanding the problem. So that's what design thinking is all about. It's just about first understanding the problem before jumping into solutions. So we have 5 phases. These are the classic 5 phases which were laid out by IDEO, who came up with the concept of design thinking. So there's empathize, where you first put yourself in the user's shoes, and then you define the problem that you want to take up, that you want to solve. It could be the root cause of the problem that you're looking at. And then you come up with a lot of ideas in the ideate phase, and then you pick one idea that you're going to take forward. In the prototype phase, you try it out, you make something and see how it works. You get some feedback and you test it. So testing is when you get feedback. So these are the 5 phases, and these are the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These are the goals that everybody is working towards. The entire world, most of the countries are all keeping these goals as their main goals, and seeing how they can make things better in their country. And in that way, this will lead to the improvement of a lot of systems that we have in place for all the people in the world. And of course, not just people, there's also life on land and life below water, and absolutely everything for the world itself. So this is just a quick run through of the website for those of you who've not seen it in a while. And I'm just going to open out the challenge brief and take you straight to your submission requirements. So there are 2 main things that we are looking for. Yes, we'll get to your questions very soon, Ankit. So the 2 main submission requirements are: one is a document of your process, which includes your problem finding and problem solving. This will be up to 15 slides. Try not to, put in too much text and cram it up. What we want you to do is really analyze all the data that you have and share only the most important details. And we're also looking for all of you to submit a video of your problem statement. This is in the form of a 3-minute video pitch. So imagine you are, this is like an elevator pitch, but for 3 minutes. So imagine you have to, tell somebody about your idea and you don't really have much time. How will you do it? And we want you, in your 3 minutes, we want you to talk about the problem, your insights, your solution. How's your solution addressing the problem, and your plan to implement the solution. So these are your 2 main submission requirements. And now we'll just jump into the AMA session of answering all of your questions, since you all are also here. And then through that, as I answer, I hope we can cover a lot of the different points that you may be confused about. Okay, so Ankit first is asked in the chat. So what we can do for this AMA session is you can raise your hand, and then I will call out your name, and we can have you unmute, and you can share your question. And if you don't want to speak, you could also drop your question in the chat, and we'll go through that as well. But I think I'll first give preference for those who want to speak, and then I will also come to the chat after that. All right, so if you have any questions that you would like to ask, you can raise your hand, and I will call out your name, and we can talk. So first, let me answer Ankit's question in the chat. Ankit is saying that we are a team of 5 members and wanted to add one more now. Is it possible to add? So Ankit, it is possible to add. You can edit your team members. You can edit on your dashboard. So while you registered, you would have had one primary team member. That team member will be permanent. That team member will have to be there. And all the other team members, in case something happens and they want to leave the team, or they want to you want to change the people in the team, or you want to add more members, you can. All of these features are available on the dashboard. If we are not getting answers to the problem, what do I do? Anshika Bandari is asking. All right. Anshika, if you don't mind, can you unmute yourself and let me know a little bit more about the problem that you all are looking at?
We are looking at the problems like on climate change.
Okay.
And we found something, but then it is similar to some machines which are already made.
All right. Okay.
So like I'm not getting what to do now.
Okay. I understand. So, Anshika, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're trying. I will take you all through. Now, I think I should take you all through what we expect from you all, because we understand a lot of the problems that you're looking at with the Sustainable Development Goals. These are all very wicked problems. By wicked problems, what I mean is these are problems which are so complicated that it's hard to get easy solutions to these problems. And these are problems that people are trying to collaborate across the world and try to solve. Everyone's trying to solve these problems, right? So it's going to be very difficult for someone to take on such a big problem and try to solve it. So I'll just take you through what we are expecting you to do in the problem finding phase. So in the problem finding phase, where you're going to be empathizing and defining, we want you to first take something that is bite sized, take something that is easy for you to take on. So the way we ask you all to start is to look at your home, your community, your community could be your neighborhood, or it could be your school, it could be any community that you're part of, or you could take an action or a scenario, or you could even consider a place, and then look at the stakeholders who are in that place. It could be your classmates, it could be your teachers, it could be housekeeping staff, it could be people who are commuting by bus, or it could be college students, it could be workers, it could be vendors, it could be organizations like the government, it could be absolutely anyone. So once you consider stakeholders, then from there you're going to start looking at what are the problems that these people are facing, or what are the problems that are there in this particular space. So even if you take up, say for example, your school canteen or the college canteen, what are the problems that are that people are most commonly facing? And maybe you come up with a list of maybe 10 different problems that people are facing, and from that we want you to take up one problem, one tiny problem, something that is bite sized, something that is specific. So you can see these 3 points, right? Ideally we want you to take a problem that you have access to, By that we mean you should be able to talk to the people who are involved with this problem. You should be able to meet them. You should be able to get a clear idea of what the problem is in the first place. And we're also looking for your interest as a team. So is everyone in your team interested in working on this particular problem? So ensure that you take up something that everybody is interested in, because only then will you have the best of your team as well. um, and of course, even if there is a problem that maybe one or two people are not so interested in, it's also possible for you all to learn more about the problem, and maybe as you learn more you may get a little more interested in this problem. And something that is, as I said, bite sized. So as when you said climate change, it is something that is a very large problem that we can't take on as as the main problem. Under climate change, if you could look at so many things that are contributing towards climate change, and those things could be it could be having something to do with say pollution, in the sense of that there's land pollution, air pollution, water pollution, there's all of that. And even under that there's subcategories, right? Maybe there's pollution caused by vehicles, maybe there's pollution caused by factories, maybe there's pollution caused by people burning their waste outside their outside their spaces. It could be anything. From that, we again want you to go deeper and take something even smaller, which is maybe you are specifically focused on, say, plastic straws, right? Plastic straws being used by vendors on the street when they're selling coconut water. What is something that you can do about that? And in some way, this plastic straw will connect to climate change on a much larger scale, right? So it's like saying it's only one plastic straw, said 8 billion people, right? So you can understand how one thing, when everybody says it or when everybody does something, it collectively becomes a much larger problem. So we want you to focus in, look at things at the human scale, and try to solve problems in that zone, so that it's easier for you to handle. And then once you've picked the problem, we also want you to mention which sustainable development goal you are working towards. This may change at the end of your research. Like you said, you wanted to start with climate change, but then maybe you end up with responsible consumption and production. That's also perfectly possible. So I hope that in some way it clarifies your question, Anshika.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So you can rethink, brainstorm with your teammates, and look at something that's a smaller problem that's easier to solve.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else? Any other questions? You can always raise your hand. Okay, in the meantime, I think I will take you all, since I just took you all through what we're expecting of you in the problem finding phase. I'll also take you all through some primary and secondary research methods that you can use as you are trying to understand the problem better. So in the primary research means doing research firsthand, trying to understand what is what is happening and what's the root cause of this problem. So this can happen with you observing a certain space. Say you're looking at your college canteen or your school canteen. You could just quietly observe how people are using the canteen, what are the different problems that are there, and you could just do an observation. And then you could also conduct interviews, talk to people who are sitting around, find out more about what they think the problems are, and what do they like about the space, what do they not like about the space, are they finding something that could be, do they think that something could be better, what are those things, and how could they be better. So finding out these answers will help you understand the problem even better. And secondary research is research that you do by looking at articles. Maybe you're researching in newspapers or on the internet. You are searching and finding out answers to what's happening in these kind of spaces, outside of your community, right? And is this a common problem that is there everywhere, or are there other things that are happening? You can learn a lot more by searching. And then, okay, Ankit Upadhyay has another question. Please tell something more about 3-minute video submission by taking example. Okay, I'll do that. All right. So, Ankit, so if the way that we are looking at this 3-minute video submission is, you can see out here, I'll just go to submission requirements. So we're looking at a 3-minute video pitch, because we want you all to be able to articulate the most important points in the shortest way possible, right? So think of your 3-minute video pitch almost like if you were to do an ad. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an ad, but we would love to see a little bit of energy. We would like to understand what the problem is. You could start by, let's take the same example of plastic straws being used by coconut vendors on the street, right? So you could start by talking about the problem. You could say that the other day I was just sipping on some coconut water with a straw, and then I realized that there were this many straws that I saw on the street, and I was just wondering how many more such straws are there and where do they go. And that led me to understand that the main reason that this is happening is because of something, and from there you can talk about how this problem is, you could go into the root cause of this problem, and then say that this is what you identified as the root cause, and then you can pitch your solution. So my advice would be, sorry, I have a small cold. So my advice would be for all of you to plan your 3-minute pitch. You can first take a notebook and a pen, and then just decide what do you want to talk about, your problem, what are the main things that you want to share, and write down what you would like to do in the first minute, what would you like to talk about in your second minute and in your third minute, and how can you cover all these 3 points, which is mainly how can you cover the points about the problem that you've identified, and the insights are, once you really understand your problem deeply, you'll have a few aha moments that, hey, this is the real problem. So you can talk about those things, and you can do all of this pretty quickly, and then you can go into your solution, and that's why we've developed something, and this is how it's going to be used, and once people start using this, we can actually have a big impact, because every day this many straws are being used, and all of this is going to the landfill, or it's going into the oceans, and now we're going to be using, now if we start using this is not going to be polluting our environment, and we can be saving this many, we can ensure that we don't that this many straws are not going into the ocean, and are not going into the landfills. So that's just a quick example of something simple that I was just talking about. But I hope you get the idea of how to plan your 3-minute video, and maybe do a few practice runs in front of the mirror, and then try to record it. You can record it on your phone, and then you can put it up on YouTube, and you can take that link, and there's a space for you to upload that link as well. We'll have one space for you to put in your PDF, and another space to upload your link as well. All right, going to the next question. Ira says that for many solutions, the real thing may not be possible, such as an app or slightly advanced technology. So is it necessary to have the model, or would a prototype or illustration suffice? So that's perfectly fine, Ira. So if you come up with an idea, what we are interested in is the design thinking process that you all have followed, and the problem that you all have identified, and how you what is your idea. So it's okay if you come up with an idea for an app, and you don't have to launch the app, because it will take a lot of resources for you to launch that app. So you can come up with that idea, and do as much as you can to convey that idea clearly. So if you want to launch an app, you can watch some videos on how to make a wireframe of the app. You can draw out how the app would be, or you could even make simple screenshots of what would it look like, what would every screen look like. You could use Canva, you could use, there are some websites that will help you create mock-ups of this, and you can make that, and you can talk about the flow, saying that if somebody has this problem, they can use our app. In our app will help you do this and this, and this is how this would be the journey of somebody using this app. Say for example, if you're using Swiggy, you would say that first, you may have someone who is, if someone is hungry, they would open the app, and then they would look at different restaurants first, and then choose which restaurant they want to explore further, and then they would look at the menu, and then they would order, and then they would make the payment, then they will track their delivery person, and then they'll finally get their order. So you have like maybe 6 to 7 different screens that can talk about the entire process of how your app will be used. Or if you're making something physical, a model is also fine. A physical paper model, paper prototype is what we call it. You can make it, and you can do your best to convey your idea. And what we would really like for all of you to do is, as you're doing this process, we want you all to talk to your end users, talk to others, get feedback, get regular feedback. Even if you're in the early stages of the process, even if you just drawn it out in your notebook, thinking that, hey, this is my idea, then go and talk to others and find out what do they think about it. What are do they have any what do they think will work well, what do they think could be better, what are some, do they have any suggestions, how can you improve it? So keep getting feedback and see how you can make that happen. All right. So, okay, Pranika says you have a doubt. Please share your doubt, Pranika. And Anshika says, do all team members compulsorily need to be in the video, or one member can present? I would suggest it will be good for just one member to present, because it will be easier to follow, and it will be, you can convey an idea more easily that way. If you want to, I would say maybe max 2 members, maybe one person, and you could have another person. But beyond that, it can get a little crowded for a video. But ideally, we would like just one person to represent the team and talk about your idea. All right. Should the solution be novel? Okay, so if we're going to look at explore the word novel, right? So a lot of the ideas can, if you can come up because of the addition, because of the multiplication or subtraction of other things that already exist. So maybe like if you think of rollerblades, right? They are adding wheels to shoes, and in a way that becomes a novel idea. But at the same time, these ideas already exist. Shoes already exist, wheels already exist. It was used in other forms. Now it's being added and made into a rollerblade. So like that, your idea could be something that draws from other ideas as well. And but your idea, we are looking for it to be something unique, maybe something that people have not really done before. It could be something very simple, but at the same time it can have a big impact, right? So that's okay. You can look to do something, but we want you all to come up with something on your own. There are a lot of solutions out there for a lot of different problems. So presenting something that already exists in the same form that it exists may not make sense, but you can say come up with an idea that uses existing ideas, but it does something unique, right? So for example, if you look at again, if you look at Swiggy, they were mainly around they were mainly focused on delivering food, and then Dunzo came up with the idea of delivering anything from anyone to anybody else, right? So, but the idea of delivering was already there, right? But Dunzo used the same model, but to solve a different problem. So you can come up with something unique yourselves, that uses models that we are kind of familiar with, but it solves a unique problem. Can we see, Amy Matthews says, can we see previous winners to get inspiration and advice? This is something that we're doing for the first time here, Amy. Although we had a design thinking day last year where we had our own students from CMR University display their projects and talk about their projects. I can tell you very briefly some of the different kind of themes that students worked on. Last time, students worked on only one topic, which was around waste management. They took up things like sanitary waste, understanding, trying to influence people to shift from using sanitary pads to say menstrual cups or other things, and what is something that could influence that kind of behavioral change. We had students come up with innovative ideas for disposal, things that can be installed in the restroom. Yes, Pranika, absolutely. You can ask your doubt next. We had a team that looked at landfills, that looked at problems that are there, where in the landfill, and they came up with some ideas on how to ensure that we can reduce the waste that is going into the landfill. And people have come up with ideas on segregation. People have come up with ideas. They've created games on building awareness, and we've had students come up with apps for reducing food waste from say the hostels or weddings, to apps that can connect the excess food from one place to the people who are hungry, and maybe have an idea for creating an organization that does that. There are already organizations that exist, but their app was doing something unique with respect to say hostel food waste. So like that, you can come up with your own idea. These were some of these. We didn't have a competition last year. Last year it was just students who have gone through the design thinking program in our university. We just wanted them to have a small showcase. So this year it's a totally different story. So yeah, absolutely anything can happen. Any ideas can come up. We don't know. We are going to be surprised with all of your entries, and we're looking forward to what would come up. So yeah, thanks, Amy. I hope that answers your question. And yes, Pranika, you can you can ask your question. And in the meantime,
Ma'am, I have this doubt. For the marine littering, ma'am, we had chosen life below water. So,
hmm,
ma'am, we decided to make a project that cleans all the marine litter from the water.
huh,
And, ma'am, we had this thing that what if a fish gets captured? Ma'am, we want to, collect the waste, but,
huh.
ma'am, the machine does not have sense. So, ma'am, my only concern is what if a fish gets trapped? So, ma'am, I wanted ideas that we do. But, ma'am, there was this project called Seabin,
Hmm.
ma'am, which is already created that does not catch fish. But, ma'am, I wanted to make something new and unique. So, ma'am, I just wanted ideas.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks for I'm so glad that you are excited about life underwater, and that you want to do something about clearing these spaces, and that I can hear the excitement in your voice, and really happy that you're here, Pranika. So with respect to ideas, of course, we cannot give you the ideas ourselves. This is something that you will have to come up with. And yes, of course, there are already certain interventions to do these things. If you Google and if you go on YouTube, you may find certain interventions to do these things. But what I would ask you to do is dig deeper into the problem, right? So ideally, it would be good if you are specific about your problem. Say there's a lake near your house, and you are seeing that, hey, this lake is getting polluted, and what can we do to, reduce the pollution out here in this lake, with the pollution that's happening in this lake. And then maybe your solution, it could turn into, you can have like 5 or 10 different ideas for your solution. But maybe if you research more on the problem, you'll realize that actually this lake is getting polluted mainly because of this tea stall that is right next to the lake, where they're selling all these plastic cups and these paper cups, and everybody is drinking that, and they're just chucking it into the lake. Maybe you realize that that's one of the big reasons. Maybe when you look at all the pollution in the lake, you realize that most of it is cups, and then you realize where is it coming from. So like really going to the root cause of why this problem is happening will help you solve for that root cause. So for this exact same problem, you could come up with, instead of the solution of having a machine that cleans the lake, you could even come up with an idea of influencing people, or changing behavior, or even changing the kind of cups that are being used by this tea stall. This is an imaginary scenario, but I hope you understand the point that I'm trying to share. The point I'm trying to make is, try to take a local problem, a problem that you have access to, a problem that you can observe, ask questions about. Ideally, okay, it's okay even if you're not taking a problem like this, but in order to go through the design thinking process, it will be a lot easier and a lot better for you to take up a problem that you can see, or that you can talk to someone about, and that you can ask questions about, that you can do primary research on. So if you're able to do that, then you can then you'll get a lot more ideas of how you can solve that problem. So yeah, I at this point I would say, if you want to do something like this, I would say go and see practically in a place where you can do your research, and then come up with a lot more ideas, and take an idea that you think is something that you can take forward. I hope that answered your question, Pranika. Okay, Naman. Is it fine if our idea is more plan and prototype based over a physical prototype? Yes, Naman, it's possible that your plan is that your prototype is something that is more of a plan. You could come up with an idea for a service, which doesn't have to be a physical prototype, right? It could be a service of some sort, or it could be an experience that you want to create, or it could be something that would influence behavior change. So these are all ideas where you may not have like a physical product to display. That's perfectly fine. Your final solution could be something digital, something physical, something that is a service, or an experience that you're trying to create, or behavior change you're trying to influence. All of that is fine, because not all problems have a physical or a digital prototype. So whatever best works, whatever you think
Hi,
would
ma'am.
work is fine. Yes, hi. Yes, who is this? Nice to hear a voice finally. Hi, who's speaking? Tell me. Thank you also, Pranika. Naman, let me know if I've answered your question, or if you have any further doubts. I'm sorry about my cold. It's just suddenly flared up during this session. So yeah. Yeah, anyway, I hope all of you are doing well.
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
ma'am, I have another doubt. Ma'am, like you said, it could be a website, ma'am.
Huh?
But ma'am, like if it is online, ma'am, it does not make like a proper model, like a prototype. So, ma'am, will that be considered or not? Like it won't be that easy to present. Like then we have to get a device and present our application, ma'am. So is that okay if we can like make it online, or is it supposed to be a handmade prototype?
You can do anything that whatever you are capable of doing, you can do that, right? You sound like somebody who's in school, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we are more interested in your idea. We're not more interested in how colorful or fancy or polished, your final. Maybe you make an app and it looks really colorful and beautiful, and it's working and all of that, but maybe that app is actually not solving that problem, or maybe that app is not having the, all of the functions that it could have had, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we are more interested in your idea of all the features, or what your app is going to do, how is it going to solve the problem, rather than it being something that is a working, a working app. So if you can make a working app, that's great, go for it, right? If you can't, that's perfectly fine too. As I said, you can make screenshots of what your app would look like. You could look at every phase of your app and write about, okay, first this is what will happen, then this is what will happen, like a comic strip. You can list out all the different, all the different steps that somebody will go through when they use your app. I gave that example of Swiggy earlier, right?
Yes,
About how
ma'am.
you feel hungry, then you open the app, and then you see this, then you do this, then this, then this, then this. So like that, you can also just have all the different screenshots, as in you can the first most basic thing you can do is draw it out nicely, neatly. That is one basic way of sharing it. If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
want to go one step higher, you can actually also make it on Canva or some of the other websites that help you make it. Or if you are, maybe if you're in university, or somewhere else where you have the skills, you can make a working model as well. But we are mainly focused on your idea. Our focus is on, is this idea something that helps solve the problem, and is this a problem that is the problem that you've identified. um, is it supported by research? Is it a valid problem that people are facing? Is this, we are more interested in that.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am. So, ma'am, like, you said you have to make a video and send the link.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
ma'am, if we make the website, ma'am, is it
Hmm.
necessary to send the video?
If you make a, yeah, you'll have to make a, your video is something that is going to talk your video is about you explaining what you came up with. So for
Okay,
example,
ma'am.
say for example, you've come up with an app,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And this app solves, let's just say you came up with the idea of Swiggy. Before Swiggy existed, you came up with this idea. So I'll just give you this example because it's easy for everyone to follow. So the video is going to be a video of you explaining what the problem is and the solution that you came up with. So maybe you're talking about, have you been in a situation where you're working from home and you don't have the time to cook, and you don't have the time to run to your hotel close by, and you're just wondering what to do? Would you go hungry? So introducing Swiggy. Swiggy is an app that will help you order food from any restaurant, across, from your neighborhood or even beyond. You can select anything from their menu, and then we will have the delivery person pick it up and, give it to you within half an hour or within 45 minutes. And this is our big idea. So now, nobody has to worry about, going hungry or cooking in the last minute, or rushing to a restaurant. We are going to help people eat on time and not be hungry, right? So that can be, we want to see your face, we want to hear your voice, and we want to know about your problem and your solution. So when you're speaking in your pitch, you can just talk about your idea, and in your presentation you can have all the different screenshots for us to understand how your app will work. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that
Yes, ma'am.
I
Thank
hope
you.
that helps. Okay. Now coming to Ankit Upadhyay's question, video pitch should be in English only, or Hindi is also accepted? Okay, Ankit, thank you for your question, Ankit. Um, right now, it would be good if your pitch can be in English, because that is the That's the main medium that all of our judges may not be from, from Hindi speaking backgrounds. So we may have South Indian people, we may have people, even international judges who may not know any of the Indian languages as well. So ideally, it would be good to have your pitch in English. But if you are someone who is not at all comfortable with English, but you are a lot more comfortable with Hindi, we would also like to be inclusive and have you submit your, your idea and your solution. If English is something that you find difficult, you can do it in Hindi as well, and that is considering if you're finding English difficult. Then we'll see how we can accommodate you by ensuring judges who have that background, who can understand your concept well, are judging your project. This is it's a new question for us as well. We haven't really thought about this, but we would also we wouldn't want to be in a situation where we are not accepting participants just because of the language. We don't believe that language is something that's a barrier to innovation. So it's okay. But we would say try for English. If you can't, that's also fine. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ankit and Pranika and Naman and everyone who's been asking questions. Is there any question that I've missed out?
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah, please do.
Ma'am, so is there a need of a prototype or app, or it can only be an image or a drawing solution or something like that?
Sorry, could you repeat the question one more time?
1 sec.
Mm-hmm.
So, ma'am, is there a need of a prototype or an app, or it can just be an image or a drawing solution?
Ideally, we'd like you to, it depends on what your solution is, right? If your solution is something physical, if your solution is something digital, then we would like to see all the different, the way that it would work. If your solution is an app, we would definitely like to know how your app is going to work, right? We would definitely like to know that all the features of your app, what are the different screens that your app is going to have, how is it going to work, all of those steps we would like to know. That is
if it's an app, can we just use simple programs like HTML or Python or something like that?
Yeah, you can, but HTML, Python is you're going into coding already. You don't have to get into all that. You can even just you can just share your idea. Just visually, you can just show that, hey, this will be our first screen. So if you, even on your phone, if you take screenshots of the process, as I was talking about Swiggy, right? Like if you just take screenshots of that, what would every screenshot of every step in your app, what would that look like, and what would that entire process be? You can do that. You can design it. You can draw it out first. I would say draw it out on paper and design it, and then if you have the time and if you're able to, it would be good if you can also do it on a computer and make it visually. Just show us every screen. You don't have to make the app work. If you can make the app work, that's fantastic, but we're more interested in the idea of the features or whatever it is that you're having, and how it's going to solve the problem. And we're also very interested in the problem that you're trying to solve, and what you've identified as the root cause of the problem, and is your app solving that problem. That's what we are interested in.
And if we are done with it, where do we have to submit it?
You have to submit it. You can submit it as soon as you're done with it. The last date for submission is 28th of February.
28th.
Yeah.
Okay. So exactly which website or platform do we have to submit?
So if you've registered for cause, where are you from? Which school?
I'm from Ekya School ITPL.
Okay, Ekya School ITPL. All right. So now that you've registered for cause, right, you would have got a an email with a user ID and a password, right? So if you've not got that mail, we'll again check up and we will we'll trigger it for Akia schools. We'll make sure that you get the mail with your user ID and your password, and then you can log in. And once you log in, you'll have your own dashboard where you'll have your submission requirements. You will have to submit a PDF and also a link. That link, whatever you are doing as a video, you can post it as a link. You can put it up on YouTube, or you can put it up on Vimeo, or you can put it up as a drive on Google Drive. But we want you to paste that link in the on the website, on the course website itself. It's there.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Glad you all are here, all the students from all the schools, especially. Nice to hear all your voices, and excited to see your participation, your active participation in this. So thank you all. All right.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes. Who's this? What's your name?
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Aditya.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes. Tell me, Aditya.
So, ma'am, I have this slight doubt that you described that this challenge is of 2 stages. First, we have to do an online submission, and then we have to present it in front of jury, right?
Yes.
So, my question is that how will our solution is going to differ from stage 1 and stage 2? Like, for example, some team is building a model, right? So, how are they going to differ in their solution when they'll be presenting in an online mode, like online submission, and when they'll be presenting in front of a jury?
All right. So now for your first online submission, what we're looking for is your 3-minute video pitch and your 15-slide presentation and these things. And maybe what you've developed is come to one particular stage. So maybe let's take, for example, you are coming up with say maybe it's a physical, say maybe you're coming up with a physical product, and maybe you're coming up with this idea of a I don't know, maybe of a pencil that can write underwater. Maybe that already exists. Or maybe you are coming up with an idea of okay, that doesn't have to go with the SDGs, but maybe you're coming up with some kind of an idea to say remove the nets that are fishing nets that have that are damaging coral reefs, for example, right? So if you are coming up with this idea in your pitch out here in that you make online, you will explain the idea in 3 minutes, and you will also have your 15-slide presentation. And then say you're shortlisted to come for Design Thinking Day on March 17th, right? And if you're coming physically in person, that'll be great. We will have our judges who will already have some idea of your project, and over there you'll have a question and answer round as well. So you'll have a stall where you'll have your idea displayed and everything, and over there you can explain your idea in more detail. You also have the chance to work more on your prototype. So if you've done something and if you've submitted by 28th and if you're shortlisted, you have the chance to improve on your prototype, get more feedback, make it slightly better, and you can, when you come back, you can show the next version of it. And it's also an opportunity for you to answer questions that some of the judges may have about your project on that day. So yeah. So that's how it will be different. And also if you have something physical to show, that will also be there, right? So far we would have only seen pictures of it, or we would have seen a video of it. But on that day, people can actually see it. That is if you're coming in person. Otherwise, there are many teams that are still going to be presenting online on 17th as well. For you all, the difference would be that you will still have a question answer round with some of the judges. You can have more interaction with the judges. Right now you're just submitting something and you don't know who's looking at it, what's happening. On that day you will be able to interact with the judges and answer questions and all of that. So yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
If I have not, you please ask me. Okay, any other details about this? Okay. So, for those residing in Bangalore, will we have to travel to CMR University? Yes. If you're in Bangalore, then we want you to come physically on that day if you're selected. So, we are going to be shortlisting after everybody submits their solutions. We have right now more than 200 teams who have registered. So, we'll be having, one team of judges who will be going through all of your projects, and we'll be shortlisting the top 60. So the top, if you are part of the top 60 and if you are living in Bangalore, then we want you to come in person to CMR University. And if you're living somewhere close to Bangalore, if you don't mind traveling to Bangalore also, that would be great if you can come. Otherwise, you can totally submit your project online and have the final interaction online. We are still looking into the possibility of in case there are a few teams who are somewhat close to Bangalore and they want to come to Bangalore and come and present in person. We will try to see if from the university side if something can be done to accommodate you. We are not yet sure of that. That we'll get a little more clarity when we come to the next AMA session, when we are a little more, when we have a better idea of who all have been shortlisted and what all cities they're coming from. Then it will give us a better idea if we even have the ability to accommodate them or not. So that's the reason that we can't promise anything yet, but we'll have more clarity on it later. You did not receive your username and password. So Pranika, okay, we'll just make a note of your name and we will. Okay, so Vignesh sir sent you an email again. So he sent it to Anshika. Okay, so Pranika, which school are you, or university are you from?
Ma'am, Ekya JP Nagar.
Ekya JP Nagar, is it? Who's your team lead or who's your main participant?
Ma'am, me itself.
You itself, is it? Okay. So JP Nagar, Pranika.
Yes, ma'am.
The team lead name. What's the name of your team?
Ma'am, it was Team APK.
Team APK. Okay. So Team APK is not registered apparently.
Ma'am, my class teacher had done it.
Your class teacher had done it, is it? Ekya JP Nagar.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
should I check with her?
Vignesh sir is checking right now, and we'll get back to you now. Okay, Pranika, we'll just make sure that all of you are having your. How did you get the Zoom link, Pranika?
Ma'am, it was sent to me on.
It was sent to your email, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now Vignesh sir will be on it and he'll ensure that if you've registered for the challenge, if your name has come through and all of that, then we will be sending it to you. Okay.
Yes,
So can you just type out your email ID and share it to Vignesh sir personally on Zoom itself right now,
yes, ma'am.
and then he will get on it and he will do that. And Shaista Mittal, Shaisa, okay. Shaisha. Okay, sorry. Shaisha. Okay. So, you are from which school, Shaisha?
Ekya JP Nagar.
You're also Ekya JP Nagar. Okay. So what
Yeah.
we'll do is we'll just check for Ekya JP Nagar, all those students who've registered. We'll just, Shaisha M at ekyaschools.com, right? It's already
Yeah.
been sent. Yeah. Yeah. Vignesh sir has just sent you an email again. So
Okay.
just check if you would have got it. Okay. For all your Ekya schools JP Nagar, we'll just check again about all your usernames and passwords and ensure that all of you have it.
Okay, sure.
All right. Glad you all are here. Really nice to hear your voices.
Ma'am,
Yes. Tell
ma'am,
me.
actually for getting the username and password, I need to log in, and my email ID is the primary email ID, and I'm not able to log in.
Okay. What is your name? And which
Anshika.
school are you from? Anshika. Okay.
Ma'am, Ekya ITPL.
Anshika Bandari, AKIA ITPL.
Yes, ma'am.
So Vignesh sir is just checking now, and
Anshika B at akschools.com, right?
Anshika B
Yes,
at
ma'am.
akschools.com. Okay, Vignesh sir is just sending it. He sent it again, so please check again in your spam folder, just in case it has gone into spam as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you should have got it. Okay, all right. Nice to see that students have come from schools as well as university. And yes, any other questions? We're very happy to answer any questions that you may have. All right. So the time right now is 5:36. So we had planned for this to be a 1 hour session. So I hope that all of you have a little more clarity on what to do. And in case you have any further questions, you can always write to us. You have the cause email ID, right? You have we have a cause email ID. This thing Vignesh sir is going to post the cause email ID on the chat. You can always write to the cause email ID, or you can even go on our cause website, and or we are also going to start a WhatsApp group, and we're going to start adding everybody onto that WhatsApp group. So that's also another option to continue to ask questions, and we will have another round of AMAs again soon. So that round is going to happen on 26th of Feb. That will be our next AMA session. You will again receive a link like this. By then you would have already, you may be at a different stage of your project. You may be, you may have new questions by then. So we're happy to answer those questions at that time. In the meantime, if you have questions, we're happy to answer those questions as well. Please reach out to us. We're very happy, we're very excited with the turnout. We're very happy to see so many students who are so interested in innovation, in design thinking, in problem solving, and in working towards a better world. So I think the future is very promising, and we're very, very excited to have you all here. So thank you all once again, and have a good evening. And yes, and we'll see you soon. Just 1 second before we leave, I just want to check if there's anything else that Vignesh sir or Shirley ma'am wants to talk about or discuss. Okay, the WhatsApp group link in the chat. Please hang on, everybody. The WhatsApp group link is coming to your chat very soon. 1 second, let me just stop screen share. I'll just check and I'll post the WhatsApp link. You've posted, okay. Vignesh sir has posted the link to the WhatsApp group. Please, join this WhatsApp group, and you will also, along with getting updates via email, and on your dashboard, we are also planning to post the same things on the WhatsApp group. So please join the WhatsApp group also. So I will just keep the room open and keep the session open for another 3-4 minutes, so that you can all click the link and join the WhatsApp group. Anshika, your hand is raised. Is there? Do you have a question?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. For everybody who joined a little bit later, right? The first thing that we did is post on the chat. People had posted their names and their universities and things. So if we've not heard from you, and if you are if you've joined and if you've not yet shared which university you're from, maybe we could use this last little bit of time. Don't post it in the chat, because we want everyone to see the WhatsApp link, and also have the cause email ID. But we'd love to hear your voices, and just maybe close out with how you're feeling today and where you're from. So, for example, I would say my name is Vindhya. I'm from CMR University, and today I'm feeling excited. I'm also feeling a little bit sick. So it's a mix of these two emotions, these two feelings that I'm having right now. So would be great to also see your faces for the last few minutes, at least to see who all are here. Can we all have everyone turn on your videos? We'll take a small screenshot just to, document, this day. Great, nice to see you, Aditya. Great, lovely, nice to see you, Pranika. Everyone else, it's okay wherever you are. Okay, great. Vignesh and Shirley have also joined us. Would be nice to see all your faces as well. Akshita, lovely. Aryan, so nice to see you all. Oh, great. Hi. Naman has just come back from school. And Ayush. Hi, Ayush. Great. Waiting for the others to turn on your videos. Hi, Amy. And come on, it's okay wherever you are. It's perfectly fine. Love to see. Okay, Saisha, nice to see you. All right, I'll give you all 30 seconds to turn on your video, and then we'll take a quick screenshot with big smiles, and then we will close out for the day. All right. So 10 seconds to go if you want to be in the picture. Okay, lovely. I can see Divyam, I can see Shripad, and Samira Mittal has also joined us. Okay, 10 seconds to go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm taking the screenshot. I want your biggest smiles. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right, so I've got a screenshot of all of you. Thank you all once again for joining. Lovely to see all your faces. We're really looking forward to your entries. We're really looking forward to cause and to seeing all of your faces again on 17th of March. Hopefully, and keep going with the energy that you have. Okay, thank you all so much. Thank you, and bye. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening. And
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye. And okay, and only Aryan was left, and now he's gone. Okay. All right, and that concludes our very first AMA. Bye bye.